Well, hello, my fellow jewelers. Have you ever gone on Pinterest and you're like, oh my gosh, that's super easy, no problem, I got it. And then once you make it, you're like, that's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Well, these earrings, I love them. The ones we're making today, they turned out gorgeous. Look at these. They turned out so gorgeous. But assembling them, like putting them together after the resin has dried, is so hard. But don't worry, I'm going to take you step by step, showing you easier tips and tricks on how to make these. This is epoxy resin we're using today. You can totally use UV, so just dive right in wherever part of the video that you want to. But before we get started making these not as easy as I thought earrings, make sure you subscribe my channel, click that bell, get notifications, because I love teaching you how to make jewelry. I do beaded jewelry, I do resin jewelry, that's right, UV and epoxy. I got your back on all that, so you and me, let's get this earring party started. You can totally see where I had my respirator on. It's so important to wear your respirator, to wear gloves. I had gloves on, and to wear apron. Make sure you're wearing all the safety gear. Okay, so I have already mixed my 1-to-1 ratio epoxy. And the reason I do that before I put the flowers in, so that if I have any little bubbles, they can go to the surface, and it just eliminates bubbles that much more. Now let's put the flowers in place, and then we'll put the epoxy over the flowers, and then have to wait 24 hours to assemble these babies, okay? I have all these flowers right here. They're so pretty, and I'm just going to be putting in different ones together. So I'm going to be using these guys because this will go great in there. I'm going to be using this one, and then I think, yep, this one as well as this one. So I'm going to try those 4 and then do the same ones over here. And so we're just going to start putting our flowers in. Now for this first one, I just want to do a very simple, I want to try a very simple one. And so this one is the identical twin of that one. Ooh, don't break the petal, then it won't be identical. Okay, so we're just going to do a very simple one for the first one. Now I have these tweezers. You got to be careful with these tweezers because you don't want to scratch your mold. Scratching your mold will cause imperfections in your earring, and depending on the color you're using for the earring, like if you're just using clear or lighter color, you can see those imperfections really well. Okay, and so then I want to do these pretty guys. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna do, be careful. Flowers are so delicate. I mean, like, it's like, duh, they're delicate, but at the same time, it's like, they're really delicate. And so I'm gonna put these guys, you gotta see where I'm putting it, right there. Now, for these particular flowers, I'm gonna be using these over the white. There's a lot of petals. When you have a lot of petals, it's a hiding spot for the bubble, so just be careful. I really kind of want to use a UV and kind of encase it, but I'm not going to. So there might be bubbles, because anytime you have lots of petals on top of petals, there's a chance that there's gonna be lots of bubbles because they like to hide among those petals. So there's none that are here that are identical, which drives me nuts. So I'm just gonna do the biggest 2, and I'm gonna place that on top like this. It's gonna be really pretty. And I'm gonna place that on top. I'm gonna fast forward for you putting the rest of the flowers on, and then I'll take you to the next step, okay? Okay, for the next step, we're gonna put some rubbing alcohol because we wanna eliminate the bubbles as much as possible. So we're gonna spray beforehand, put the resin on, and then spray afterwards. The only thing that I get really nervous about, because I just put the flowers exactly where I wanted them and moved them around, is that when you spray, it kind of lets off a bit of air at first, and it can like blow your flowers either completely out of the mold or around the mold. It's so frustrating. So I'm gonna try to spray a bit first, and then spray the flowers, and hoping to eliminate the airflow, because it's just the worst. Okay, so I'm gonna try to spray over here first, and then, oh, see how it moved though? We're just gonna spray those 2 because it dries really fast. Okay, and then we're going to pour a little bit now. I'm gonna see how it, yeah, looking good. And then I'm just gonna spray each one first and then pour more on, and then we'll talk about what we're gonna do next. Did you see how that flew out of there? Oh my gosh, that's what I'm trying not to do. It only did it to one, so that's okay. That's completely okay. So now the flowers are starting to move around and they're starting to kind of flow and do things. So just use either like your tweezers or use a toothpick and just gently move them back where you want them and try to eliminate as many bubbles as possible. So make sure when you're poking your flowers that you don't poke too hard, because you can leave like dots on there, spots that are really ugly, or you can leave like holes in them. And so just make sure when you're adjusting your flowers in the wet resin that you're very, very careful and delicate. And then we're gonna wait 24 hours to unmold, demold these suckers, and then make them into gorgeous, really big dangly earrings. I'm so excited. So it's been 24 hours, it's all dry. So the flowers didn't do exactly how I wanted. Some of them came to the top, some of them kind of floated halfway. If I were to do this again, I would totally use UV resin because I can stop them exactly where I want them and not worry about them floating, okay? So let's check out what happened. And I'm way more picky than others. You might be like, oh, who cares? That looks great. Maybe like, yeah, Des, you're right. So let's dive right in and demold these suckers. So I had a ton of resin left, so I did a lot of other, using up flowers and resin. So I think my absolute favorite ones are the white and the blue. My second favorite ones are these guys. And then I put a hole in this one because it totally floated over to the side, and I tried to get back over and made bubbles and holes, and oh my gosh, disaster. So I might just use that as a pendant. And then these all floated to the bottom, so just the floating. So that's why I would totally use UV resin. Let's do the one I put a hole in first. Yeah, I made so many bubbles with that. I'm so disappointed. So sad. So sad. But this one looks amazing. If the other one hadn't floated, look like this. This is gonna be a great pendant. That's so great. And then let's open these babies up. That one turned out pretty cute. That one turned out really cute. This one as well, except it floated to the bottom and you can tell. But you tell me, what do you think? Could you tell? You can totally tell. I can totally tell. Okay, let's do this guy. That's really pretty. It's just kind of some fun movement. I like it when you can kind of see movement in the pieces, but those look actually pretty good. I would use those for earrings. And then my absolute favorite ones is this guy. Look at that. Oh, so cute. And then this one as well. And I'll demold these later because we want to get to the video. So tell me, what do you think? Do you like all of them? Do you like some of them? And you're like, yeah, that totally messed up. Oh, which some did to me. But which one are your favorite? Is it the white and the blue? Is it the orange and the blue? Is it the white and the pink, or just the like really light baby blue? So you tell me which one is your favorite that turned out. Okay, so I'm gonna show you just one. I'm gonna show you step by step just one doing this guy. So I'm gonna need at least two. We're gonna see. I'm gonna need at least two jump rings. Take our big jump ring. We're gonna take our jump ring. We're gonna open it up pretty far. We need to open pretty far to make sure I can get it in this big old pendant. Okay. So I did find a trick, is that you put your jump ring through your pendant, you close it up just enough so there's a gap so you can slip it into the bezel, and it's a lot easier than trying to close that big gap. Like, it's cute, right? It's like open really big and trying to close that over both of them. So put it over your pendant, close it up until there's a bit of a gap, put it through, and then hook your bezel. And oh my gosh, that was so hard. This is a lot more difficult than it looks. Okay. So we're gonna put two jump rings through. They gotta be kind of small because there's not a lot of space in that hole anymore. So we gotta put two jump rings in this space and then the earring hook, okay? So you gotta open this guy up. You gotta put it through that small space. There is such a small space. It's kind of cramped in there, especially with that big jump ring holding the pendant, okay? And now we gotta get the other jump ring on, like so. Gotta get the other jump ring on. We gotta get this hook facing the right way so it's not backwards, okay? So make sure it's facing the right way. And then we're gonna close this up. Yes, just like that. And there, my fellow jewelers, look at that. Okay, look at that. Oh my goodness, that is so cute. Do you see that? I love it. Okay. They are done. Which one is your favorite? Do you like these guys, the big ones? Do you like the round in a square bezel? What about these guys? Oh, so cute. Or we have these beauties as well, a circle and a circle. Oh my gosh. I love them. I think they turned out so cute. Well, what do you think? How was the assembly for you? I know it was hard for me. Tell me in the comments how the assembly went for you. Now, it's the end of my video, and that means I pray for my viewers. That's right. I love praying for you. I always ask God, what do you want me to pray for in each and every one of my videos? And I felt like God said endurance, that some of you are running a marathon. And the moment I say marathon, you know what I'm talking about. Now, some of you may be running an actual physical marathon with swimming and biking and running, but I'm actually talking about a marathon like when it comes to like starting a business, or a marathon in your job, or a marathon like raising kids, like a symbolic picture of a marathon in your life. Oh my gosh, I feel it so hard. Every time I say the word marathon, I feel it so hard. So I want to pray for endurance, perseverance, and not giving up in this marathon that God has you on. So God, life isn't always easy. Sometimes you have us on a marathon. Sometimes it's a really short season, but sometimes there's things that you've asked us to do that are hard, that are long and drawn out. And for my viewers that are on a marathon, God, I ask God that you would help them to persevere. God, I pray, I'm speaking to you right now, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Keep persevering, keep going, okay? So Lord, I pray that you give them the strength. I pray that you give them people to encourage them. God, I pray for the resources they're going to need with each and every point in this marathon. Yeah, I feel it strongly. And so Lord, I pray, God, that you would help them make it to the end, and they would not give up, they would not give in, they wouldn't let the enemy come at them and say it can't be done. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys, keep going on that marathon. You got this. Like, if God has like made this marathon for you, he's going to have an end to it, and it's going to be glorious. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Guess what? I'm going to catch you in the next video right here. Bye.